Thank you so much for being part of our platform. To each and every one of you guys, if this is your first time on live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel the Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, first of all, I want to say salutations to my madrina, to my madrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in the Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjay. To each and every one of you guys, I want to say also thank you so much for those that have participated with me in various of ceremonies, and to each and every one of you guys that have been a part of what we do here on this platform. This platform is for melanated people. Melanated people are black American people and those that have melanin energy. To each and every one of you that want to learn how to do real conjure, mysticism, and real magic, this is the live for you. Here I talk about real issues. I also I want to say salutations to my madrina, to my madrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjay. What's up, my Boaz? Thank you for joining us on tonight. I was at y'all. Excuse me. I was at the movies with Chloe today. I thought I can sit through this, but this jacket is hot. What's up, Demetrius? I got my Pisces and Gemini in the house. To each and every one of you guys, if it's your first time, I want to say hello to my Padrino. What's up, Savannah, my Virgo? I want to say hello to and salutations to my Madrina, to my Madrino, to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjay. To each and every one of you guys. I also want to say hello to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. This is going to be a very, especially those that are going to be in my intermediate conjure class, this is going to be so very good for many of you guys, because this is going to help you connect the dots with what we're going to be talking about in that particular class. I also want to say and salutation and thank you to all of you that have already gotten your Egun sticks. I know that some of you have every intention of getting your Egun stick, and so therefore once we get enough people, we're gonna have a class in this. One of the things, this is our Bible study night. As above, so below. This is mercurial energy or Mercury. Thank you to each and every one of you guys that hit that like button. And thank you for those that hit that super chat, because this is a monetized channel. Kanisha, how you doing, baby? I want to say, if you take out the time about what I'm about to share, a lot of times when you're dealing with spiritual people, a lot of times you don't consider their mentality, and you don't consider their methodology. And methodology is really the method by which they execute what they believe and they trust in. So I want to help y'all, help any of y'all. I don't care what area of life that you're trying to be blessed in. And one of the things I want to talk about tonight, because this is Bible study night, I want to explain my subject. My subject is accountability is key to perpetual prosperity. And the scripture says, whatsoever you set your hands to do, that will you prosper in. And what I'm trying to get melanated people and black people to understand, a part of magic is your virtue. And the virtue, a part of that virtue is accountability. And I'm going to explain and break down. First of all, I want y'all to know what ritual is. Rituals are anything that is repeatedly done. Okay? This doesn't matter if you're feeling good, feeling bad, whether you're getting the results you're looking for. Repetition in something brings about results. I think that a lot of melanated people, when they're endeavoring to do certain things, they believe that when I manifest and I'm doing things and they see certain victories in my life, they don't realize how repetitive I have been in order to get certain results. I have that's from my herbal baths, that's from my cleansings, that's from my incense burns, my candle burns. I am very diligent when it comes down to that. What's up, my Storm and my Sagittarius from Detroit? Thank you so much, Demetrius. If you got a question or anything, any sorts, please hit super chat or super sticker. Then I got my Taurus in the house, my love. Then I want you guys, I want to break this down. I want to start with Exodus, the 8th chapter. Exodus 30th chapter and verse 8. Thank you, Demetrius. Exodus, the 30th chapter, verse 8. Let me get my glasses. I've been trying to recuperate from starting Thursday of last week, and then going to Miami, and I just been on the road and taking care of stuff and getting things done. It says in Exodus 30 verse 8, it said, and when Aaron alighted the lamps at eve, he shall burn incense upon it, and a perpetual incense, or before the Lord throughout your generations. The reason why I want to talk about this word perpetual means never ending or changing. It means also occurring repeatedly, so frequent as to seem endless and uninterrupted. What's up there? Shamari in the house, my Cancer from Chi-Town. Let me explain this. When you want a perpetual healing, when you want perpetual prosperity, perpetual blessing, anything you want to continue from one generation to the next generation, when it comes to energy and energy exchange, accountability is so key to your perpetual prosperity. Apostle is going to explain. When you are accountable, it means you hold the power to make the change. What people don't understand about me is this. I teach this, I convey this, but let me put it in perspective. The reason I say I'm accountable, because I never make somebody else responsible for my health, my well-being, my prosperity, my protection. I am always accountable. Even though I have Padrino, I have Oba, I have other brothers and sisters that have to do certain ceremonies, I always take accountability, whether it is my fault or not. I'm going to say that again. When you are more interested in not being accountable, let me explain what happens. When you blame others, you give away power. When you take accountability, you hold power. People have the right to change their mind. But if I'm accountable for my vision and my goal, I'm going to always be there for my vision and my goal. And therefore, I'm not going to be distracted by what other people do or not do. I'm going to say this again. There's things going on right now. I'm getting ready for the next ceremony. Things are happening. There were situations and circumstances not in my control, but I am still accountable. I am staying up on the situation because I'm trying to get an end result. In order to get a continual blessing, I'm going to say this again. In order to constantly get financial breakthrough, in order to get constantly healed, in order to be constantly protected or defended by Egun, by Orisha, Loa, and Kisi. This is what people don't understand about me. Even if somebody hits me in an accident and it's not my fault, I'm still going to take accountability. Let me explain why. First of all, they had damaged my car, and depending on the level of damage, I might have to rent a car. I want to talk to somebody. A part of my accountability is that I have the vehicle insured. When you take responsibility, accountability, you're always protecting yourself in the process. Even when you're trying to get healed, you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable with your time. You have to be accountable for your intake. You have to be accountable for what you're thinking and what you're feeling. I appreciate any and everybody that assists me in anything that I'm doing, but I'm always accountable. I remember going through some situation and I was reprimanding some of the saints in the church, and all of a sudden they began to blame other people. I said, hold on. No matter what does not get done in the apostolic or faith of Jesus Christ, I'm not looking for somebody to blame. I'm taking full responsibility. If the church ain't clean, I'm responsible. If the church people ain't praying, I'm responsible. See, when you hold the power of accountability, you always have an option to make a change. When you blame other people, you give away your power. You say that they are the reason why you don't have certain results. Padrino can't tell me, Oba can't tell me, Yaya can't tell me, apostle, pastor, teacher, evangelist cannot tell me what I cannot have. As long as I'm accountable for what I desire, I am going to apply myself. I'm going to put myself in position, because I don't look to other people to bring my things that I desire to pass. I look for people to play their role. I look for people to play their part. But if they decide to either resign or they decide to no longer travel with me, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to continually be blessed and highly favored. I want to teach you on tonight the key of accountability and what happens when you as a man or woman chooses, whether in prayer, whether in affirmation, whether it's a mindset, to blame other people for what you don't know. When you're accountable, you study to show yourself approved, a workman not being ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. What's up, my baby Scorpio? They say, Apostle Eli, why you study so much? Because I take my education, I'm accountable for what I know. And as long as I have reference or material that I can learn about what I'm operating in, even the Arisha that I recently received, Asa Ben Inlay. And this particular Arisha is so rare, but I have researched. I have also inquired of my Padrino. I am not going to make anybody accountable for my awareness. I ask, and it shall be given. I'm always making myself accountable, because it's not about what somebody else does. A lot of times, many of you guys don't get what I'm trying to teach and trying to show you. If somebody does something, the first thing I say to myself, what did I allow? A part of accountability is understanding if somebody did something or somebody said something, there's a part of you that allowed it. And this is why I don't have a lot of repeats in my life. People don't repeat their trauma in my life. People don't repeat their action, because I take full responsibility. A puppy cannot lick me in my face if I did not stoop down there and make myself available. I want to talk to somebody. Once you show me you're not faithful, once you show you're not committed, I make the adjustment because I can't control what you do. I can't be accountable for what somebody else does or do not do. A lot of black American people are always blaming somebody else and are not taking accountability for what they have played a part in. If I was never on your path and if I was never out of my lane, you could have never done or did what you did. The Wicked Witch of the West could not do anything to Dorothy, but Dorothy decided to chase after Toto, her dog. And as she was instructed by Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, not to get off the yellow brick road and not to take off the ruby red slipper. Let me tell you something. You cannot blame Toto for being a dog. Let me say this again. You the one want a business. I'm going to say this again. You the one want to run your own business. You cannot be out here blaming everybody, Tom and Dick and Harry, for where your business is. You have to take accountability for the resource and also the advertisement, also the service and the product line that you have to offer. I never make my business, I never make my platform about other people. Whether it is doing well, whether it's doing all right, or whether it's doing bad. I don't make other people accountable for the warfares that I am in. Because I'm the one trying to level up. See, when you are accountable, you also understand the challenge that is set before you. And everybody don't want to go along with your challenges. Everybody don't want to walk in your revelations. And they don't have to. I want to teach y'all real root work, real conjure, real mysticism, real accountability to your work. Don't speak things that you don't want to see it come to pass. Always be like the vine. Guard your own words. Guard your own prayers. Guard your own affirmations. What you decree out your mouth, make sure that your word is your bond. That it is resonating with your spiritual team. A part of my accountability is I have to get proper rest. I know I got these things done, but a part of my recovery and my victory is also getting the proper rest. Yes, I'm taking all of my nutrients, I'm taking my cleansing, I'm doing all my baths, but a part of my accountability is also to rest. To recuperate from the activities, whether spiritual or natural. I want y'all to really, really understand accountability. It is not making other people accountable. It's not negating their responsibility as a part of the body. What it says is, I intend to win. I intend to be the head and not the tail. Let me tell y'all something. It is easy. And if you listen at people talk, most people, when they come out their mouth, they want a better life. Are they going to be accountable for the better life they want to live? When I was going through my health situation with my anemia, I started getting all kind of reports. I started researching about my anemia and my immune disorder. I was gathering all that information up because in order to request of God what I have need of, I have to have a clear understanding. A lot of y'all are praying before you get a clear understanding. You don't have a clear understanding where you want your business to be. You don't have a clear understanding what type of relationship you want. You don't have a clear what type of spirituality that you want to manifest. When I say sit down and count it, because that's being accountable. Knowing that I have sufficiency to operate and function in what I'm asking for. I was talking to one of my clients, and I'm always listening to how people talk. And she said something that I needed to hear from her. She took accountability. She said, don't worry about the cost, because I can always work and make the money. I need to be here for the people that I love. I want y'all to hear me. I'm not blaming the doctors. I'm not blaming the situation. I'm not blaming what I was doing before I got into this situation. But now that I'm in this situation, as long as you're going to give me the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, and the opportunity to make things better for me, I am going to be accountable to myself. And if I got to work harder, if I got to strive hard, if I got to go through some things. So every day that I wake up in my healing, I don't feel good. Sometimes these herbs and these, because I'm really heavy on this black seed oil. And when I say it purges your body on a cellular level, when I say, when I tell you, certain ma'am, that the process of being well, I'm not here to teach you how to feel better. I'm not here to help you get from the ability to pay one bill to another. I'm here for prosperity. I'm here for wellness. I am here to recover all. I want you to understand my mentality. And in that mentality, there's a certain level of accountability that I can't afford to give somebody else. I can't sit there and talk about what the doctors are doing. I can't sit there and talk about what the saints are doing. I can't sit there and talk about what the tribe is doing. I can't sit there and look at what somebody else's pace. And when I say pace, how they running their race. Because if it doesn't line up to the things that I am trying to accomplish, I make the proper adjustment. Let me tell y'all the power of a perpetual blessing. It is within your means. When a man and woman decide to be accountable, you have to understand where they are in their life. And a lot of times people, because they believe in blaming people, I don't give my power away. I done went through too many trials and tribulations to get where I am and to be out here giving my chair away. Because I don't want to be accountable. I don't want to look at the decisions that I make. I don't want to watch the words that I speak. I don't want to moderate my emotional state. That's why sometimes I take ashwagandha, because it helps me to regulate my stress. When you have a lot of responsibility, you must be accountable. If you are head of household, you must be accountable. And therefore, you must take accountability for your mind, your soul, your thoughts, your vision, and anything else you want to be in. And when you pray and you light incense and you light candles, all that should coincide to your perpetual blessing. An ongoing, uninterrupted blessing. Let me explain this. Psalms 21, verse 6. There go Mother Susan. What's up, Tree Rhonda? Gemini Aries. Exactly. I also use Shilajit. But I want to go here to Psalms 21. One of the things that I don't do that a lot of black people do is I don't get into my feelings. I have feelings, but I don't get into my feelings. I get into my goals. I get into what I'm trying to accomplish. That's why I would say I don't care how I feel. I'm going to say this again. When you're accountable, you will not let your feelings dictate what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. There's some days that I get sick and tired of taking all those pills and those capsules and those herbs and those tonics. Accountability is not based on a feeling. It's what you do because you got to do what you got to do. All y'all that continuously to get into your feelings about things that you have to do, you're going to only hinder yourself. If I want to continuously walking around in this level of health, if I want to continue to be maximizing my potential, then I need to give my body what it needs. I must be accountable. Let me say this again. Psalms 21, verse 6. Normally I have this already done. Let me put my glasses on. I go to my niece. Chloe had me in the theater. I went and saw Hamilton today because via Chloe. And I told her if I didn't love you, I would have walked out on that movie. It was a good movie, but that's the longest movie I ever sat through. I haven't even sat through porn that long. I just, oh my God. That was a long movie, but it was a really good movie, and it was very entertaining in keeping my focus. So that was a good thing. Intermission, the old me, I'd have left, but I got to be there for the babies. And they talking about you watch, yes, and I always watch my favorite part. I always speed through till I get to the part that I want to see. So I can tell you a movie from start to finish when it comes to porn. I have my spots. I got Psalm 21, verse 6. It says, "For thou hast made him most blessed forever." Not this blessing that people be talking about that is only for Monday. Only for a Tuesday, only for a Wednesday, only for the morning. No, I need a blessing that's going to sit on me forever. It goes on to say, "Thou hast made him exceedingly glad with thy countenance." So, when they say the blessing of the Lord doeth make rich and adds no sorrow, a part of my accountability is that I protect the blessing that God has blessed me with. I'm going to say this again. A lot of y'all finna miss out on a wealth of blessings. All because you won't be accountable. And nobody's making you accountable for anybody else. Just being accountable for you. Being accountable as a Pisces, a Aries, a Taurus, a Gemini, Aquarius, a Cancer, a Capricorn, a Leo, a Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. It is your responsibility to navigate and rule and govern your own energy and frequency and vibration. Let me explain to y'all. It is so easy to give your power away. He hurt me. No, I hurt myself by remaining in that situation. She keep lying to me. No, you keep allowing somebody to have a communication with you when you already know that every word that proceeded out of their mouth is a lie. A lot of this stuff you allow. And you want to hear that. You don't want to be accountable for the things that you allow. When I realize that somebody is going to maintain a certain pattern, I make the adjustment. I don't let people keep doing things to me. I don't let situations remain. I did not sit there and say, okay, I'm anemic, my mama anemic, my sister anemic, my daddy anemic. then it is what it is. No, no. One of the things that I said in the beginning, even when I had lack of knowledge, I said, this is not going to take my quality of life. I took accountability for the quality of life I want to live. I regained power even though I was weakened because of my sickness. I want to talk to somebody. If you want to strengthen your body, you have to have certain virtue, and you have to hold onto those virtues. And those virtues allow you to maintain power, which is energy, which is our shape. And that power allowed me to navigate myself out of the condition that I was in. You can't come out of a situation or a circumstance if you're not taking accountability for it. I'm going to say this again. You cannot cause me to be the tail when I'm meant to be the head. Because I'm going to take accountability for the prophecy that's on my life. I'm going to align myself with the prophecy that's on my life. I'm going to align myself with the destiny that was promised to me. That's why I don't worry about destiny swapping and somebody trying to take. Yeah, I'm aware of the attempts. But if I'm accountable for my own destiny, how you going to get it from me? If I'm staying up on my own destiny, how you going to take it from me? How you going to swap it? How you going to swindle me out of it? What, I look like Esau to you? You're not going to give me no goddamn suit and get my birthright. See, I don't go through enough with my destiny that I'm going to give my destiny up because of some trouble. Because of some hiccups. Because of some tribulation. Because I don't think it's strange or the fiery trials which should try me as though some strange thing has happened unto me. I understand that the blessing that I have on my life is going to endure these situations and these circumstances. And I treat my trial just like I treat with cities that I travel through. I'm just passing through. I never treat a circumstance or a situation like I live there. I'm going to say this again. I did not treat my sickness like I was a resident. I don't treat any condition or situation, even when I'm dealing with storms in my life, I do not treat those storms like they're going to remain forever. When I sit down and I realize I got a storm I'm dealing with, the first thing I want to do, I want to know the circumference of this storm. I don't care how strong the winds are. I don't care how far or hard it rains. I understand. I might have to, and say, man, I know that I'm going to break my speed, but I'm not going to stop driving. I might not be able to move like I want to move and through my situation and circumstance, but I'm never going to stop. I'm going to always move forward. Because eventually, I'm going to drive out the storm. See, the storm can remain where it is. If as long as I continue to move forward, I'm going to get out of its circumference. I'm going to get out of its range. And that's what understanding about life. The summer, the winter, the fall, and the spring. If you learn and you start understanding how long you got to endure. When you need to rest. Adjusting for the cold, adjusting for the fall, adjusting for the heat. You've been living too long not to be able to live out a perpetual blessing through accountability. If you want to prosper and be in health, thank you so much. It doesn't, let me tell you something. It is not Ifa, it's not voodoo, it's not Santeria, it's not Christianity, it's not conjure. It's you. You as an individual. I don't like people to control my outcome. I'm going to say this again. I'm not going to allow your laziness to control my outcome. I'm not going to allow your inconsistency to control my outcome. I'm not going to allow your sometimes in, sometimes out. I'm not going to allow who you are and your personality to hinder my focus, what I'm trying to accomplish. I want y'all to understand, it ain't never, my platform, my teaching is not about you. It's about what I live. And I only teach and preach what I live. If you find yourself being shaken, or like Minister Mario say, shooken, because of what you're hearing, because of how I respond to life, all you got to do is exit. I'm going to say this again. What people don't understand, it's not that I don't care, but I will leave you behind. It's not that I'm not concerned, but I will leave you behind. This is not a journey for forcing people to do things that they are not willing to do. Instead of saying I'm too hard, just say you're not willing to do what it takes for you to get to the next level. I have told everybody on my platform I'm a very militant person. I'm always evolving. I'm always making myself be accountable for what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't allow people to frustrate me, and if they do, they don't get to frustrate me again. Because I know the agenda, I know what I have to do, and I know if I don't get up and do it, it ain't gonna get done. See, what a lot of y'all don't understand, when you have a desire, remember it's your desire. If you want to see it come to pass, be accountable. When you have a vision, you have a goal, and you want to see that vision not tarry, but come to pass, then you take accountability. If you have a business and you want to see that business thrive and perpetual blessing, then you take accountability. And you will find yourself evolving to meet every challenge that that business has, or that vision has, or that goal has. A lot of times, when people look at me and they see how I live my life, they're not accountable. You can't mimic somebody. You can't follow somebody when you're not an accountable person. When you willfully, I want you to really hear me. When you willfully ignore things that you have power to control, then you have the outcome that you work for. A lot of us think that it's other people's responsibility to dig you out of things or mindset that you created. Thank you, Ryan. This is why when people left my church never closed. This is when people decided to not give, blessings still were coming. I never make people responsible for the agreement or covenant I have with divine, that I have with my ancestors. Why are you, as a spiritual person or as a person with a goal, making everybody else the blame of why you're not accomplishing your goal when your goal is not between them? When the agreement was made, they were nowhere in the picture. I'm not doing these ceremonies for you. I'm doing them for me. This is why I say, when I win, you win. But when you're not accountable to your own thoughts, you don't even, Apostle Paul said like that, whatsoever things are lovely and a good report, my brethren, think on these things. You don't even feel like you have to be accountable to your own thoughts. Even though you know and understand that energy follows thought. You don't want to be accountable for your own emotional state. Even though you know that energy, emotion or energy moving. You don't want to be accountable for the seeds that you have sown. Even though you know that you understand that you have to reap what you sow. You know that energy out, energy in, fire sign. So whatever energy you go into something, that's what energy you get back. Now you're upset about how people's energy is towards you. You have the energy about I don't give a damn. So that's the energy come back. If you care, if you took accountability, you would be in control of what comes into your world. You will be in control about what happens to you and what doesn't happen to you. Somebody can want to see me down all day long. I'm going to be accountable for me, my protection, and my well-being. Somebody can desire something all day long. People have been waiting on me for years to fall, to lose this and lose that. The reason why I can say they're waiting in vain, because I'm accountable to myself. I'm accountable to my spirituality. I'm accountable for the instruction that were given to me. And if I fall short, I don't blame other people. I'm going to say it again. I knew when I chose Padrino Michael that he lived in Tampa. And I'm not going to make it a problem because now I'm tired of going to Tampa. But if I were trying to get some ass in Tampa, I'd be on the road. See, God got a way of showing you you're picking and choosing. Because when it is something you want to do, you don't care about the very thing you complain about. See, I have to be accountable for my personality. I know that some people are turned on to my personality and some people are turned off to my personality. That's a part of being accountable. Therefore, I ain't riding here mad with nobody because they don't like me. And I'm also not riding here parading people because they do like me. Because they can like me today and not like me tomorrow. I still got to do what I was called to do. I still got to be accountable. Let me explain something to you. Out of all the candles, the crossroads, the loas and kisi, the dolls, the cauldrons, the orishas, the loas, the impungo, the moreto, my spiritual court. If I'm not going to be accountable to me, none of that matters. It's not these elekes. These are the badges of my accountability. This says I went through proper channel to get where I am. I'm accountable. And therefore, since I'm there, I'm going to be accountable for the power that I have gained. I'm going to be accountable for the knowledge that I've gained. I'm going to be accountable to make sure I can take care of what I received. The reason why you keep having problems in your life is because you ain't accountable. If you are accountable for yourself, I remember my son. He had his friend girl, and they were sharing an apartment. And he was telling me about what's going on. And he was like, oh, Dad, don't worry about it. She got plates, she got this, and her mama gave silverware and all that. I said, I said, son, you don't never dote on somebody else's stuff. I said, have your own. Minister Mario took me up to Georgia. I went to JCPenney. I bought him stuff for his kitchen, his bathroom, air fryer. I bought all kind of stuff. Because when people get mad, they gonna want their stuff. How some of you guys allow yourself to be put in situations over and over again, and you don't want to hear that you have allowed these things. Pergino Michael can't put me in a predicament because I'm accountable for my destiny, not him. My Oba is not accountable for my destiny. I'm accountable. Everybody in my Elay is not accountable to make sure that I'm prospering and everything is well with me. That's my job. And I'm supposed to be utilizing and benefiting from those type of relationships. Every chance I get to learn something, that's for me. I don't walk around thinking that Padrino, I don't care if he give me a lot of information. I don't care if he give me a little information. I thank him for that. Because that's something I did not know. That's something I did not understand. Anytime you can help me have clarity, thank you. Anytime you can help me have knowledge, wisdom, or understanding, because I'm going to take care. I'm going to utilize that for my benefit. That is the power and why accountability will cause you to have ongoing, perpetual healing, deliverance, protection, salvation, rescue. The reason why you got all of these starting and stop, because that you're not accountable. You're always blaming somebody else. No, it's your reason. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say something. Please don't get offended. When you choose not to get education, for whatever your reason is, because everybody want to tell why they ain't do what they should have did. That's not nobody's fucking problem with yours. If you didn't do what you needed to do to make sure you had to, you don't blame other people. I hear people on jobs blaming and talking about the people on their job. And what I really be saying, if you were so goddamn smart, you have your own business. And as long as you got to have somebody to create a paycheck for you, then shut your fucking mouth. But everybody can't handle me talking to them like that. And so therefore I keep my opinion to myself. But that's what be on my mind. If you were so concerned about your well-being, then you would do the fuck you need to do for you. But you run around delegating your power to everybody else to determine whether you have or don't have. I remember I talking to my eldest son, and I told him, I said, Trey, I said, I want you to, because he loves shrimp. I said, he loves shrimp scampi. I said, Trey, I want you to have shrimp scampi even when I don't want you to have shrimp scampi. I want you to be so skilled in what you do that you can get around me and still have what you want. All I would really tell, I'm not your problem. I'm going to say this again. I'm not your problem. A lot of y'all make people a problem that you blame them for your emotional state. For you can blame them for your mental state. So you can blame them for how you act and react in life. You need somebody to justify your poor behavior, your inadequateness that you have in your life, your insecurity that you have not worked on. You may be insecure, but if you work on your insecurity, you're not as insecure as you used to be. But you ain't even did that. I done told you about your lying tongue. You still not trying to practice telling the truth. All of these things are going to affect your energy and affect your life. And you need to take accountability for that. When I was putting certain things out there about what I was taking, I noticed that certain people was grabbing it up. What, Apostle, what did you say? Where did you get that from? I didn't even try to make, I want you to know what I did, how I did it, and what I was doing. I'm accountable for being a leader and giving you clear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is why I don't have to feel sorry for you. I really need y'all to understand this. My accountability allows me to look at the fuck shit you doing and keep on pushing. I don't have nothing. I don't feel sorry for you because I've been accountable. My mama told me and my sister this. She told me first. She said, I did my job. I did my job by you, and I did my job by your sister. Me and my sister can't blame my mother. When you do your fucking job, can't nobody blame you. We don't try to, because I ain't going to have my mama clowning me. But I can't blame her when she taught me how to hustle. I can't blame her. She told me this, even when she was going to cosmetology school. She started teaching me how to do hair. She said, nigga, you might get somewhere and you got to do somebody's head to make some money. It don't matter what your skill set is. And when somebody giving you trade and skill for you to be able to do for yourself, that's a blessing, baby. And that's a continual blessing. That's a perpetual blessing. That's why I know how to take care of my hair right now. My niece is going to do my hair tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Let me explain something to you. Nobody can block your roads if you're constantly opening your roads. I'm going to say this again. No one can block your roads. If you are perpetually and continuously doing road opening, you're going to always have a flow. But if you're doing road opening every now and then your roads can be blocked. Somebody can throw all the hanks and all the jinx they want, the evil eye. But when you are always washing and cleansing yourself, it's never going to stick. So how can they hinder you? This is when this scripture comes alive in your life continuously. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, because you're accountable. You're accountable for the weaponry that you have, because they are mighty through God in the pulling down of the stronghold. If you are getting the weaponry that is necessary, you can combat anything you have to, but you're not going to do that. I like one of my clients saying, let me tell y'all something. It shouldn't take a near-death experience. It shouldn't take hardship. But black people, the only time you seek God, you got to have an escort. When you are accountable, can't nobody on this platform make me feel any kind of way about what they're going through. Negative. Because I know I have been accountable for the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding that I display and I release on this platform. I make sure that people have a clear understanding what the message is about and the purpose of why I'm giving. I let you know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I let you know the costs that are incurred regarding that. I don't leave you in the blind. I'm very transparent with black American people. That's for your benefit. That's for you to understand what it's really going to take for me to achieve that type of healing, that type of protection, that type of wherewithal, that type of awareness. If I want it bad enough. If I ain't got a penny, and I got 1 penny, I know I'm going to work hard to get them other 99 pennies. If I got a nickel, I'm going to work hard to get them other 19 nickels. If I got a dime, I'm going to work hard to get them other 9 dimes. If I got a quarter, I'm going to work hard to get them other quarters. So it don't matter where you are on the spectrum, whether you're intermediate, advanced, whether you're a beginner, whether you're on the sideline, you choose. Because I am an accountable leader and teacher when it comes to the ATRs. I let you know what is possible. based off of my own accomplishments, based off my own trials and tribulations that I have endured. I'm not telling you about gaining hope. I don't teach that. I teach people how to take action. I say don't even contact me. If you ain't ready to do something about what's going on in your life, I am not the person to vent to. I believe that people that vent a lot are not accountable. Because if you are venting about the same thing, there's somewhere you have not taken accountability. Somewhere you ain't did your money work. Somewhere you ain't did your roll opening work. Somewhere you ain't did your blockbuster. Somewhere you ain't did your what I got here. You claiming that you so goddamn depressed, but I ain't heard you order a oil of gladness. You say that your business is not booming, so I ain't heard you order a better business instead. You talk about your healing, but I ain't hear you order no healing instead. You talking about you want to be the head and not the tail, but you ain't ordered no High John the Conqueror. You got a triple threat, 3 High John. You ain't ordered that. You talking about you want a peace of mind. You ain't ordered no peace instant. You want everybody else to be accountable for the conditions in your life, but I have people that when I'm not even online, they gonna order, hey, apostle, I need an incense burn for guardian angels incense, or a reversal, or a stop gossip. You know you around a bunch of talking ass people. Why aren't you taking accountability for the gospel, gossip and the slander that is coming towards your life? Why aren't you burning stop gossip? If you got family members that are speaking against your healing, why aren't you burning stop gossip? When people are sitting there and speaking their own ache in your life, why aren't you utilizing the tools that are readily available? You can be up 4 days in the morning ordering shit, ordering service. You can get a fumigation for $1,000. You can come to my church and sit in there and allow me to fumigate you. You have all types of services and tools. I done provided egg on sticks. When you're accountable, you're always in charge of the outcome. Nobody can tell you what your outcome is going to be when you are accountable for you. That's why the people talk about, oh, I'm going to do this and do that. I be looking around. You going to do what? To who? So where am I going to be? When my tribe text me and said, Apostle, you need to put that statement on a t-shirt. I thought about that. Huh? A ass whooping in any language is understood. Quote by Chief Apostle. I said, yeah. It's catchy, it's direct, it's to the point, and it's really me. So my point is, when you're asking God for ways out and opportunities, when somebody suggests something, jump on it. When somebody give you an idea, jump on it. When somebody motivates you, jump on. Utilize the motivation. This is what I'm saying. If I got to do it as a chief apostle Eli, then why you think that you don't have to do it? Why you don't be accountable for them dog ass men in your life? He gonna drive your gas up anyway, so you might as well get the gas and drive a couple hours so you can find a different type of man. That's all I'm saying. Being accountable always puts you in the driver's seat. Some of y'all love being like driving Miss Daisy. You on the back seat, always trying to tell the driver what to do. You want your Eguns to drive your life. You want your Risha, your Loas, your Nkisi, your angel, your guardian, your pastor, your apostle, your tata, you want everybody to be responsible for getting you to your destination. But you. The peace of mind that I have is because I'm accountable for the mind that I have. The reason I can talk about and tell you about my great sex life is because I'm accountable for my body. I'm accountable for my Monday, my Tuesday, my Wednesday, my Thursday, my Friday, my Saturday, my Sunday, and my Monday. Again, I'm accountable for the days of power. Do I take advantage of that arche that's in that day that I was born in? That's a part of my destiny star. Am I utilizing the information that I've been taught, not only from my family, but my spiritual leaders and ego? How am I going to make other people accountable for my outcome when I was taught how to fight from home? I was taught how to make money from home. How I'm going to let you starve me when my mama taught me how to make $1 out of 15 cents, out of 15 cents. When my grandma told me it take money to make money. How am I going to let you hard time me when I'm accountable for the things that I've already learned? I was already taught before I met a you. Before I met a you and you and you. I was taught how to war. I was taught how to fight. I was taught how to choose my battles. Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Nobody got to tell me when I ain't 100. I ain't going to let you and nobody else put me in a situation where I can't stand on my own. That's why I'm fucking them parasites up. Because y'all had me at a place that my niece had to feed me. And I'm going to have y'all at a place meeting y'all maker. And do I get tired of taking black walnut and wormwood? Yes, I do. Have I got used to the taste? No, I haven't. But I ain't going to allow nobody. I'm taking accountable for myself. I'm not going to blame the parasites. The parasites when I didn't know your ass existed. But now that I know, I'm accountable. I'm accountable. I'm going to take these herbs and spices. I don't care how I feel about it. I got them in the car. I got them in the house. I got them on the counter. I got them by my recliner. I got them. I got it them by my bedside. I got them in my bathroom. Bitch, wherever you catch me, I'm accountable. I'm gonna be able to handle that. I'm gonna be prepared for me. I'm not gonna get caught off guard like I did that time. You got me. I like my middle boy. He's a Pisces. He got me. See, I'm going to give credit to where credit is due. The parasites got me. I was fighting all over here. How in the hell? I didn't know it was an enemy within my own members. But when I came to the knowledge, the awareness, I've been fucking them up ever since. What you don't know, we'll give you that. But you still need to be accountable for what you don't know. What you ain't aware of. What are you doing to become aware? You know something is not going right. You know something ain't where you wanted to be. Then why aren't you asking questions? Why you got your mouth fixed in somebody else's business when you need to be trying to figure out why your life is in the condition it is in? Sir, ma'am, if you want perpetual blessing, you're gonna have to be accountable. You're gonna have to pray when you don't feel like praying. You're gonna write that petition out when your hands are hurting. You're gonna sacrifice some ways in order to get yourself in a better position. And I always tell black people this, black American people. I told Angela Sweet, I told her this too. Don't get broke. Don't let nobody get you broke. Because if you broke, you can't fight for yourself. You can't defend yourself. You can't stay in the road. Get what you need. I don't care who don't think you need that. I don't care who don't agree. This is your life. Whether it's health-wise, whether it's prosperity, whether it's relationship, whether it's business, this is your life. And life is what you make it. And I ain't gonna let nobody miserate my life. I done worked too hard. I done been too accountable for my life to be good. For my life to be smooth. For my life to be resourceful. Accountability gives you peace in the midst of a storm. I'm so accountable, I might not be able to change the weather, but I can buy an umbrella. I can buy rain gear. I don't have to suffer loss because there's a storm in my life. Do you have the proper tools to help you navigate through your storm? Because the Bible and book of Job said every man is born unto trouble. So we all gonna have troubles. But if you are accountable, you're gonna be able to I shouldn't use the word. You're gonna be able to subdue your situation and circumstance, your condition. And you're gonna be hearing, oh, that's amazing. Accountability make you an amazing man and an amazing woman. Whether you're in E5, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Obia, Kabbalah, Kamdala. Let me tell you something. There's so much stuff going on with Padrino and all that. All I want you to know, can you do it? What available time you got? And so he said, well, we ain't gonna be able to do it. If we do it in Tampa, it's gonna have to be in October. He said, but I can get it done in Miami. Miami it is. I'm gonna say this again. Miami it is. When you want what you want, and you have to have your thing. Let me tell y'all something. You never know what tomorrow's hold. I'm gonna say this in my closing. You never know when you're gonna have another opportunity to see that person. Or not see that person. And if you ain't got what you need, shame on you. The worst thing in the world is when people are not accountable. That means they're not going to operate in their season. They're not taking accountability for their summers. They're not taking accountability for their springs, or their autumns, or their winters. They're not taking accountability for the air element, the fire element, the water element, or the earth element. And I'm not going to let nobody imprison me through your emotional manipulation. Let me explain this to y'all. You're not smart enough. You're not crooked enough. You're not conniving enough to make me fall in your bullshit, because I can do without it. I have been accountable in my fucking life that I don't have to put up with nobody bullshit. Do you hear me? I don't know what you did in your life while you got to kiss ass, but I have placed myself in so much accountability that I don't have to put up with nobody bullshit. Imagine or actual literal. I don't care if you imagine some shit. I don't care if it's some shit that happened. I have been accountable to my soul and to my spirituality and to my economics that I don't have to tolerate and put up with nobody's shit. And that's including my family, my children, no, my saints, my tribe. And if you don't want to learn how to be accountable to the point that you don't have to put up with people's shit, then I'm not the teacher for you. I told God, as long as you give me my life, health, and strength, and I can do it for myself, if I got to stutter through it, if I had to slur through it, I don't talk enough, articulate enough on so many videos. If I have to hum through the rest of this shit, I'm still gonna get paid. Cause I've been accountable. I ain't just wait till I got 52 to be accountable. I didn't wait till I got 50 to be accountable. I didn't wait till I got 40 to be accountable. I've been held accountability from leaving out my mother's house. Being accountable. Depending on me. Pee-wee, make sure, stop talking about what somebody else is doing. My mother didn't even allow me to be accountable on the wealth of my own biological family. What you got? What you got? What you got? What you working with? Now, don't talk about your mama, your grandma, your uncle, your dad. I don't want to hear none of that shit. What you got, nigga? My mother held me accountable before I left her house. That's why I can put drawers on my own hair. And I can put any type of drawers I want on my own hair. And I can put brand new drawers on me daily. You understand? Because I learned accountability from home. I ain't running around asking nobody to borrow a candle. I'm not running around asking somebody, do you got any oil? Do you got any gas? I ain't asking nobody for shots. I ain't even begging nobody for no ass. You don't want to give it to me? Maybe your sister will. Maybe your brother give me some ass. I'm not putting up with nobody's shit. I buy cakes that I don't even finish. I sat there through a movie that if it was porn, I would never watch porn for 3 hours. But because of that, my baby, Minister Mario's daughter, and she had been telling me she wanted to go see that movie, and I had committed. I gave her my word. I was accountable, sitting there. I went to sleep. That was a long goddamn movie. I woke up and the movie was still going. I'm like, God. I looked at her. I told her. I looked at her eyes. I said, Chloe, if I didn't love you, I would not be here. This movie too long. I'm a 5 sign. That is, whew. It was good. She talking about, did you like it? I said, yes. She, yay! Woo! But I still told her, I said, girl, it was too long. Would I go back and see it again? Hell no. I'd rather buy a ticket. I support it, but no, dog. What my point is, I've been accountable so I can live a peaceful life. I can live a productive life. I can pick my clients. I can pick my holes. I can pick the days when I want to be bothered. I can pick the. Nobody pays my cell phone bill. Nobody pays my mortgage. Nobody pays my rent. Nobody pays for my shit. So I do what I want to do. I'm accountable for me. My kids don't do it. My mother don't do it. My sister don't do it. Let me tell you this. For all you men and women, but mostly men, this is potency wood. If you have circulation problem, I'm put it up again. This is herbs. Y'all know I'm big in herbs. I make sure I eat good, ride good, dress good, and fuck good. I'm going to say this again. I make sure I eat good. I make sure I ride good, I dress good, I look good, and I fuck good. If you don't want to learn that, I'm the wrong teacher for you. I don't live a miserable life. Even when I'm going through trials and tribulations, it's still not miserable because I'm accountable. And what I started doing alchemy. If somebody give me a lemon, I'm having lemonade. I'm gonna make that bitch mad. Huh? You can't hard time me. You can't do it. Because I'm accountable for me. And I'm gonna make sure I got what I need to win. Alright? Much love to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much. If you have not gotten your classes, make sure you get your classes into me Conjure on the website. If you have not got your Eglin stick, make sure you're putting up for that particular object because when I get enough people that have the Eglin stick, then I'm going to do a personal class. If you are struggling, if you want to bring change, become accountable. Stop giving your power away through blaming other people, places, and things. I prosper right through racism. I prosper right through confusion. I prosper through spiritual warfare. I prosper through health issues. It's perpetual. It's uninterrupted blessing. That's where I'm at, and that's what I'm doing. All right, all hearts and minds clear. I see y'all tomorrow. I gotta be at my niece's house at 10 o'clock. So depending on what time I go to bed and get up in the morning, what I do a video probably later. All right, peace out.